Hi everyone, this is Matt. Welcome back to my channel. Really grateful to have you here. Today we are doing another pick a card reading, and we are asking for love and romance messages from your angels. We have 3 piles today. Pile 1, we have the Smoky Quartz with the White Light Oracle here. Pile 2, we have the Malachite and the Rumi Oracle. And pile 3, we have the Citrine with the Sacred Rebel Oracle deck. So let's take a moment and center our energies. Take a few breaths. You can pause the video or just take a moment and make your selection. You can always choose more than one pile, of course. If one pile does not resonate for you, you can choose another, or I have other readings where you can get messages. But yeah, today we're focused on love and romance. So yeah, quick reminder, general reading, not every single thing will resonate. And yeah, with that said, let's get going. Hi, pile 1. So you chose the Smoky Quartz with the White Light Oracle deck. And today we're going to be looking at love and romance messages from your angels, guides, the divine, and just whatever you need to hear right now when it comes to your love journey. And, you know, love is everything. Love is God. Love is all. Love is infinite, but today we're going to be looking at the romantic partnership aspect, specifically in relationship to where you are, what you're wanting, what you're attracting, and what you need to know. So for my pile number 1, God, what love and romance messages does my pile number 1 need to know right now? We have Shekinah here. So I don't know the meanings of the cards from this deck by heart, so I will be referring to the book. That is number 6. And funnily enough, 6 is a number of love. The Lover's card in tarot is the 6 in the Major Arcana. So let's see here. Okay, so this is your message when it comes to love and romance. The spiritual worlds want to help you resolve your worldly concerns. It is safe for you to rely on Spirit as a loving, protective, helpful, and practical presence, able to positively affect all areas of your life, including facilitating the resolution of physical problems. Do not limit your spirituality to concepts. Instead, apply your higher knowledge and principles, grow your wisdom, and live your path. Acknowledge your value as a person, as a soul. Treasure the gift of your path, and let your spirituality integrate with all facets of your life. Okay, so with this card showing up here, it's really bringing the energies back home to you. And reminding you that, you know, your priority is your spiritual path, right? And your spiritual evolution and development. That's number 1. Also, if you feel, when it comes to love, if you feel like you've been at a distance with love or at odds with love, or you've had connections with other people that have been challenging, this is just that reminder to trust your spiritual path and know that everything that's happening and unfolding for you right now, everything that hasn't worked out, everything that is working out, everything that is moving for you right now is all feeding into what you want, right? And sometimes, again, what you want what you truly want at the soul level is not maybe what the mind is wanting, formulating, constructing within the ego, right? A message right now is coming through also about your idea of the perfect partner. It's like ultimately you want, what you're wanting is spiritual and emotional in nature. It's that spark, that unexplainable feeling that you get with somebody. So when it comes to maybe more superficial physical things, there is a reminder coming in that while yes, you will be physically attracted to your partner, while yes, that is a very important part of a union, the Spirit's really wanting you to kind of start at the source level, at the foundational level, at the spirit level, right? And let that inform, you know, the truth of a connection. You know, you could have some people coming into your life who are gorgeous, beautiful, handsome, you know, the perfect specimen, exactly what you would want physically. But if that soul connection isn't there, if that love and appreciation and honoring of each other and compassion and just presence and availability, like if all of that isn't there, then the looks just don't matter. So the message coming through with that is just with when it comes to looks, allow your criteria to sort of loosen and soften, just specifically, you know, as far as the specifics go when it comes to the appearance, because again, like I said, you're going to be attracted to this person physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of it. And when I say this person, I'm talking about a significant a more significant relationship, a soulmate connection, not something fleeting, not something that's just kind of coming in for fun, or, you know, this is more significant that we're focusing on right now. So what was I saying? Yeah, just, you know, you're going to be attracted to them, but it just might not be exactly what you were planning, or like it might be different than like previous partners, previous people that you've been attracted to potentially. Yeah, that's just one message for a number of you. But really, yeah, this card is just reminding you to bring it back home to your own spiritual journey, that is what's most important, that feeding yourself and building yourself and nourishing yourself on every level, that is really what is setting you up for the best of the best in another person, in a divine counterpart. So if you feel like you've been focusing on possible, you know, connections outside of you, and or you're in your head about certain connections, or you're not sure about certain connections, this is just that reminder, you know, to kind of move away from the headspace if possible and bring it down into the heart center, into the breath, into presence, into doing what you need to do for yourself on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, just self-nourishment all the way. So now we're going to pull from the Mystic Mondays Tarot, and we're going to expand upon that message, and we're going to see what else wants to come through for you when it comes to love and romance messages right now from your guides, angels, the divine. Okay, first card out is the Knight of Wands. So there's some passionate energy coming your way, or it could be you. For my pile number 1, God, love and romance messages for my pile number 1. We have, ooh, wow, the Tower. Intense. God Source, love and romance messages for my pile number 1 for their highest good. we have the Five of Cups. Okay, for my pile number 1, love and romance messages. Okay, Eight of Swords. And then another card came out here. The Knight of Swords. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands. Okay. So... It's interesting with the energies coming through. It's like... there's a feeling and a sense of being stuck, trapped, perhaps feeling like connections aren't coming in and haven't been coming in. Sadness, feeling like you're going to be alone forever, possibly. Feeling like other people aren't really investing in you, even if you're sort of like head is spinning around a person or connection, or you know, it just definitely feels like your cup isn't being filled, which is probably why this card is coming up as a reminder for you to be working on your own path and your own journey and filling your own cup. Because this talks about disappointment, pain, sadness, regret. Maybe for some of you, you've been in a relationship and you've felt trapped by the relationship and you don't see a way out, and it's causing you pain and distress. And it's like you want to leave and just make a bold move and get out and sort of like leave the sinking ship kind of energy. And it's like you're really wanting to like just go, but you're afraid if you just make that move, then everything will explode and it'll just be really messy and uncomfortable and unnecessarily like destructive. Because with the Nine of Wands at the top here, that's like, just keep going a little bit longer, keep going a little bit longer. This is for some of you feeling trapped in a situation that you're unhappy in. And you just feeling like you just sort of need to keep doing what you're doing, or else everything's really gonna be bad. So yeah, maybe it's like you're a strong personality and you're dealing with another strong personality, but you're like facing in two different directions right now, and it's kind of like not working for you or something. But that's just that narrative for some of you. For others of you, yeah, like I was saying, it's like you feel like excited and ready for love, and maybe you've been craving it and you're wanting to move towards somebody quickly, and you're wanting somebody to move quickly towards you, but it just feels like nothing's happening, and you know, you're not sure what's going on. And let's see what Spirit wants to channel through. For others of you, I'm hearing if you want an omelet, you have to crack some eggs. So for some of you, there's a sense that there is interest and attraction between you and another person, but both of you are not making any moves towards each other because of fears and overthinking and overanalyzing the situation, overcomplicating things. So it's like you're both stuck, but inside you're both wanting to move forward towards each other. And this is kind of here saying like you just have to kind of like drop a bomb in a way. Obviously, take the messages as they resonate and fit your situation. Follow your heart, follow your own intuition and guidance, always. With the message that I was just talking about with blowing something up, it's like that has to feel right. This is just, these readings are meant to be confirmational. Maybe it's like you need to sort of like blow up the walls that are existing between you and another person so that you can come in. It's like you need to crack the shell, break the ice. Because with the Nine of Wands, it's like that sense that like this process has been like ongoing and slow and arduous, maybe with a lot of overthinking and mental anguish, and it's like something's got to give now. You know, I'd be interested actually to pull more tarot here. I know we still have that Five of Cups there, but yeah, I think I'm going to expand upon this for you. And let's see here. What else wants to come through? So, God, Source, Spirit, my pile number one. What else do they need to know right now as far as love and romance is concerned? There is a sort of like messy energy with some sort of uncomfortable feelings here. Wanting to move but feeling stuck, wanting to move but being afraid that if you do take a step forward, it'll blow everything up. And just being really upset about the situation. Spirit, what's love advice for my pile number one right now? We have the Hanged Man. Okay, so this talks about surrender and seeing something from a new perspective. This talks about a standstill in the situation, a pause in the energy. With that Nine of Wands at the top there, it's kind of like, keep doing what you're doing and maybe don't blow anything up just yet. Maybe don't make that move. Again, it's going to apply differently for everybody, and I don't want to confuse anybody here. Use your own intuition and take the messages that apply again. Can't stress it enough, but there's something that is needing to be released here. Clearly, I mean, if you're feeling trapped by your own thoughts, then there's something that needs to be surrendered and released. So what advice do you have right now, God, for my pile number one when it comes to their love and romance situation currently as they're watching this? Okay, what do we have? We have the King of Cups. We have the Five of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Swords. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So, okay, what I'm getting here, bottom of the deck, we have Four of Wands. Okay, whatever situation that this is talking about right now, it feels like it's causing some emotional distress for you. and some feelings of lack, like you're not good enough. And like, you know, both of you are wearing masks and not coming forward. You're both hiding things from one another. You're not quite sure what each other is thinking in the situation. Maybe this is a one-sided situation where, you know, you're thinking more about them, and maybe that there was a spark from their end, but they're just not coming forward in any kind of way. Although, you know, the main thing I'm getting with the two knights here is that there is a reciprocal energy, but it's just both of you are still needing to heal and focus on yourselves, because there is like energetic blockages in the way of this sort of flowing and moving. And with the Hanged Man next to the King of Cups here, it really feels like you're being asked to surrender to your own emotional response to the situation. If the situation is causing distress, drop into the body and the emotional space and really feel all of that. And move away from the mental space of overthinking, overanalyzing, trying to guess, you know, what's happening. Maybe you're watching a lot of tarot readings about this person, and it's causing confusion possibly, and you're just really trying to get clarity, but it's like, it seems like maybe the more that you look, the more that you search, the less answers you have, and the more confusion there could be. So what's really being asked of you is to really drop into your center and just, you know, if you need to break down, if you need to cry, if you need to, just a release of some sort, an emotional release. It's close, rising to the surface within you and wanting to come out. That's what it feels like. The situation has affected you emotionally, it feels like. I think it's important for you to honor that and take a moment to step away from that. And also try to have grace and compassion for that part of you that feels lackful, that is yearning for something more, that is yearning for a connection, that feels like it doesn't have enough, that feels like it doesn't have, you know, what it needs, that part of you, that emotional part of you. Because this does talk about feeling abandoned, feeling left out in the cold, not having what you need, not having the love that you need or the support. And over here, you know, again, we're being asked to focus on the self-love. You know, when you're watching a love tarot reading, it's not always fun to hear, put the focus back on yourself, but sometimes it's what we need to hear in order to actually do the healing that we need to do so that we can attract a partner that is reciprocal and balanced and loving and open and, you know, all of that. So this is asking you to just look at yourself and like look at how not having your needs met has affected you emotionally, you know. Potentially you've been hyper focusing and over analyzing this connection, this situation here, because you know, maybe that feels like all you can get right now. When of course there's something better. Of course there's something better. We attract situations like this simply to show us where we're not loving ourselves, where we're not feeling and honoring our emotions, and where we don't feel like we have enough, and where we aren't meeting our own needs emotionally. You know, and maybe a message like this will cause a tower moment for you, a breakdown of sort of like all of the ways in which you haven't invested in yourself in healthy ways, and you've rather poured yourself into other possible connections or maybe energetic connections that you feel with somebody, and at the expense of your own emotional fulfillment, which is, you know, paramount. It's the most important thing of all, right? But of course, in these journeys, these love journeys, we always come back to the self. We're pulled and called back to the self so that we can fill our own cup and meet our own needs first and foremost, because that's just the non-negotiable first step of any stable, solid foundation with another person and relationship. And that's not to say you have to fully love yourself when you're in a loving connection with somebody, because, you know, two people can teach each other a lot in a very positive way. But I would say with the point that you're at right now, because you're attracting people who aren't revealing their feelings to you, and maybe you don't feel safe to reveal your feelings to them, it's important that, you know, you kind of go back to the drawing board and reevaluate some things. Because here with the 8 of Pentacles, it's talking about that work, that inner work on yourself, that work that you're doing just in your own physical reality, what you need to focus on and on a day-to-day basis and pour your energy into. You know, this asks you to pour your energy into your own abundance. This asks you to, you know, work on your frequency and listen to affirmations and, you know, say things to yourself like, I am worthy of the love that I give, right? If you're a very giving person, you're worthy of receiving that back. So telling yourself that, reminding yourself that you are only available for that which is open, loving, and available for you. It has to be mutual and reciprocal. And this is also showing me that a true partner, a true potential match for you will put in the work, they'll put in the effort, and they'll show up in the physical world. You won't be left wondering or thinking what's going on, because it'll be clear to you. You'll feel it here. This person will be emotionally available, and you will connect at the heart level, but both of you will put in equal measures of effort into showing up for one another. And it feels like when this happens, you know, maybe it'll be a new experience for you watching somebody actually put in the work. Yeah. For some of you, you might be interested in like an older, slightly older person who's a little bit more mature. At the very least, more mature, emotionally mature is what you're needing. And with the 2 knights here, it's like the energy that you've been in and been struggling with is a more immature energy that's a little more reckless with emotions and just sort of like attraction and passion and lust potentially. And not really coming from a space of like groundedness and truth and stability and like really wanting to show up. This is more of just like, ooh, like, you know, this is appetizing to me, I want to go for it kind of thing. And so yeah, you're being reminded that you don't have to endure all of the chaos of a connection that's not making itself clear to you, that you're worthy of something more mature, and that's part of this like leveling up process that you're in right now. So yeah. Trust me, I've gone through this process myself. I know, you know, how difficult it is, and I know that I, you know, needed support as far as sort of pulling myself out of that. And I've had to go through a lot of pain, you know, to pull myself out of those situations that aren't feeding me, and learning and seeing the ways in which I wasn't feeding myself and nourishing myself. So now we're going to pull from the Prism Oracle here. I really love the colors. I'm liking the colors for all of your cards today. I just like colorful things. So for my pile number 1, what love and romance messages can we get to expand upon what we've already gotten here for their highest good? Okay, so we have cleanse, which makes sense. Yeah, cleansing yourself of that kind of confusing, difficult energy that's been causing you anguish, mental anguish. It's like This is saying it's time to release that and cleanse yourself of that. You're worthy of so much more. And with the water here, it's talking about your emotional depth, right? You are more of a feeling type of person and a passionate type of person, but you really care about connecting. And maybe you've been wanting that emotional connection from someone or multiple people who aren't necessarily operating within that same emotional space right now. So yeah, it's just like wash the man right out of your hair type of energy. If we're talking about a man, of course. This is gender neutral, but yeah. So let's see what else wants to come up to expand upon your love and romance situation currently right now. Okay, we have trust. So what's coming through with this is trust what you're seeing. If someone isn't making moves towards you, trust what you're seeing in the physical dimension. If they're not coming towards you, trust that. If they're not revealing their feelings to you, trust in that they're showing you what they're showing you. They're showing you their true colors by not revealing their feelings. By not revealing their feelings, that's them communicating to you in a different way that they're not ready, right? Because someone who's actually ready will make that effort, will take those steps. Even if they're nervous and scared, they'll take the leap. They'll move towards you. They'll show you signs. So it's like, trust what you're seeing, trust the signs, right? They might have guards, these past people or current people might have guards up around their heart, so they're inaccessible and unavailable. Trust that sense that you're feeling in the energy. Even if on a higher level you're sensing a connection there, there are guards in place around the heart space, and you don't want that because you're wanting someone who has that emotional flow going on. Also, trust yourself in what you actually need and want. Trust those needs and wants, and trust that you're being guided by those desires that you genuinely have to connect with somebody, and trust that it's possible, that it's coming, that because you want it, it's there for you. It's just in order to line yourself up with the energy, the healthy energy, the good energy, you have to leave behind and cleanse yourself of this old energy that hasn't been doing you any favors, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of it. Let's get 2 more cards, Spirit. So love and romance from our pile number 1. Let's expand. Whoa, okay, so we got 2 more cards coming up here. We have caution. And we have happiness here for you. So yeah, with the caution card, it's really saying pay attention to the signs you're seeing. Pay attention to the red flags. If someone's exhibiting toxic behavior, withholding feelings, not engaging with you in a healthy way, not engaging with you in any way, let that be your sign that they're not ready and that they can't come towards you right now. For some of you, this, like, maybe they're engaging with you, but you have to pay attention more to the subtleties that don't feel right to you in the interactions. Maybe there's sort of an engagement there and you connect, but then they kind of like turn away quickly, or if you get too close, they get cold all of a sudden. So it's like, pay attention to those things. And with the yellow showing up here, this is your solar plexus chakra, which is talking about your sense of worth, empowerment, your stability within yourself, and your will. So that's a reminder of like where to kind of bring it back down to your own sense of self-worth, and really working on that. This reminds me of, like, for some reason, the under construction sign. So it's like, and with the orange showing up here too, that's like construction. So it's like you're going back to the drawing board and doing construction on your energy, on your frequency. some of you might be asking, well, how do I do that? I don't even know where to begin. It starts with the small things, the ways in which you treat yourself, the foods in which you eat, the types of conversations that you engage with other people, the types of movies and shows and music that you listen to, and just, yeah, the overall general tone of your mind and your thoughts. It's like, does that feel healthy and nourishing, or does it feel disruptive? If it feels disruptive, then things you can do to bring it back down are go outside on the grass, barefoot, allow the earth to nourish you. Nature is always your best friend when it comes to centering yourself, connecting with animals, reading, journaling, and again, like listening to affirmations. Really care enough about yourself and about your sense of self-worth and love to take the initiative to go on YouTube, and they have like distance Reiki sessions that you can look up for self-love, and you can begin to dissolve sort of the density that's in the way that's in between you and your self-love. That love is always there, and it always exists, just like the sun is always there even if it's cloudy. It's just about cleansing the gunk away, right? Because once you do that, or as you're doing that, you realize that you're meant for happiness. This is what your destiny is to be happy and content within a relationship, within yourself, and really developing those boundaries with yourself and cleansing your energy of anything that has sort of taken from you. Like, boundaries are what lead to your ultimate fulfillment. Being creative with the orange showing up here, the sacral chakra, utilizing your creative skills, painting, singing, gardening, anything that you can do to just feel connected to yourself and to that stream of energy. And creativity is just this flow that you're tapping into, right? When you're being the most creative, yes, you're moving your hands, you're using your hands, you might be using your mind, but when you're in that flow, it's like you're just tapped into that, you're plugged in, and there's not a lot of like extra effort that you have to put in. So, you're really being guided to find your own flow. And again, that goes back to this oracle card, which was reminding you to come back to yourself and find that flow. Soften into your feminine energy. The feminine receives naturally. It doesn't chase, it doesn't fight, it doesn't struggle with making something happen. It doesn't overanalyze, right? That's more like the masculine, imbalanced masculine. But soften into your feminine. What feels loving and soft and nourishing to you right now? Even if it's just lying in bed and watching a show that feels comforting, it's like whatever you can do to just like receive something nice, receive a good energy, tap into that tenderness that you need. Listen to music that evokes emotion, that makes you cry. Hopefully all of this is resonating and making sense on some deeper level. Okay, lastly, I will be pulling an angel answer card. So, we're gonna get just a simple, direct answer for you. I'm realizing as I'm shuffling, and someone did mention this in a comment on another video, that there's a blank space as I shuffle. So maybe if I leave the stone that you chose in frame, that would be good. I don't know. We'll try it out. Okay. Wow. Let go. See, You are so being asked to let go. This is such confirmation of that. Yeah, just let go of the struggle, let go of the trying to figure it out, let go of the mind, the overactive mind. It's not it's hurting you more than it's helping. Trying to, you know, make somebody like you in your head. I mean, this really speaks for itself, and just echoing all the other messages coming through. I am hearing Spirit encourage you to call on them for assistance. If you feel like you don't know how to do this, if you feel like you don't know how to ground yourself and love yourself and nourish yourself, ask the divine for that help. Ask to be shown, because God will show you if you ask. And be specific with how you ask, meaning, you know, in certain situations, you could learn how to love yourself through a tower moment, through an explosion, through difficult energy. But, you know, we watch these tarot readings to avoid, or rather not to avoid, but to become aware, to become coherent and cognizant of the truth, right? I lost my train of thought. That's so funny. But again, I'm losing my train of thought because it's just asking you to be still. It's asking you to get out of the headspace, to just breathe and focus on presence, right? Letting go can be easy. It doesn't seem like it, but it can be. Now I remember what I was talking about. You know, you being guided back to yourself could be through an explosive tower moment or uncomfortable energy, but ask the divine to show you the way back to yourself and that self-love in a gentle, loving way. And maybe you receiving this message here is helpful to begin the process and to begin to soften your energy and, you know, bring down the swords spinning around your head in the mind space. I mean, you watching this message is proof enough that you're open and willing to shift and to bring it back in, because these messages are supposed to be confirmational of something that you're already sort of kind of in touch with on some level. Yeah. I believe in you. I really, really do. Because I've been in your position before. And we're all learning how to let go and let God in our own ways. So those are your love and romance messages for today. I'm so thankful for you joining me again. If you're coming back, and if this is the first reading you've seen from me, welcome. I would love for you to subscribe, comment, like, share, all of that. I have a donation link in the description if you feel like contributing and supporting the channel. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye. Hi there, Pile 2. So you chose the malachite stone with the, here, I'll put this here, with the Rumi Oracle. I don't know all the meanings of these by heart, so I will be reading from the booklet to get your first message. But today we are asking about love and romance messages from the divine, your angels, guides, God. And this applies to just whenever, like the situation you're in as you're watching this. Let's see, for my pile number 2, God, messages of love and romance for my pile number 2. Okay. We have Blood Angel. Very pretty. So let me check out the book here. That is card number 7. Let's see. So, okay, it says, the oracle of the blood angel comes to you with a particular message. You are being given the gift of more life. You may experience this as growth, expansion, more energy, more life force, or divine electricity circulating through your system. The blood angel understands that in the gift of greater life, which enables the soul to live more of its essence, becoming a more palpable divine presence upon this earth, there are many unavoidable experiences. One of these is that there will be more sunsets to counter the increase in your sunrises. This is about balance. When opening up to receive more, one needs to empty out what has been to allow for a new influx of energy. It is not about an exchange of equal measure, for you will receive according to the great generosity of life itself, and thus even more shall be offered in compensation for what you are willing to release. However, release must take place. Balance is the natural law. The sunset makes way for a time of night. That might be the darkness of grief or the stirring of unknown places within that only reveal themselves in clarity the following morning. Being ready to endure the sunset and the night to become ready to receive the sunrise, and with it more life, is your divine task now. Why is this coming to you? You are ready for it. You have outgrown what has been, and it cannot satisfy your soul anymore. A part of you, your mind perhaps, may question whether or not you really want the change inherent in this oracle, divine gift or not. You may prefer that things remain the same, but why are you really wanting in that belief? Happiness, or what are you really wanting in that belief? Happiness, a sense of safety and security, love. Remember that in any divine gift, no matter whether it seems to come as at first through an obvious bestowal of grace, such as a wish coming true or a prayer being answered, or through a hidden grace of a loss or ending in our lives, there is always an offering of greater life within it. The blood angel tells you to not make yourself too small for what is happening in your soul and life now by holding on to what you know or holding on when it is better to let go. It may not be easy, but you will gain more trust in the divine, in you, in life, and great power and heavenly play can and will flow through your soul into the world. The blood angel invites you to accept the genius of life and allow it to flow through you, circulating your divine light even more abundantly into the world around you. This oracle comes with a particular blessing of well-being and vitality. Okay. So there's more to that. These descriptions are quite long, sometimes a few pages, but I think we have enough here to go by. Yeah, this is really talking about balance, the yin yang in your life, and in order to receive all of the blessings that you are calling in with your frequency that you've already been manifesting, you simply have to let go of certain things that aren't at that same frequency, or aren't coming with you as far as your frequency. This is telling me that so much life force is coming towards you. You're like this magnet for like life itself and like the juiciness and excitement and adventure of life. I really feel the energy of adventure coming through right now. That could be travel, that could, just be a sense of new experiences, new people, a new environment perhaps. A new way of being that feels exciting and fresh, and you feel vital. Maybe you've taken up exercising more frequently, and that feels like really vitalizing and like good for you, and you feel like a different version of yourself, a better version of yourself. Maybe you're eating a particular way now that is healthier and better than before, and you feel like you're really nourishing yourself right now. This is about coming out of the dark and into the light, and everything that you need to release, friendships, connections, acquaintances, types of behavior, types of thoughts. I mean, the sense that I'm getting right now is like whatever romantic partnership, soulmate energy is coming through for you, it's already there. It's already in your energy, in your frequency, not necessarily physically, but just it's already kind of locked in your energy. And it's crystallizing and brightening and glowing even brighter as you kind of clear some other things out of your life. It's amazing. Let's see if any other channel messages want to come through. I am feeling divine counterpart energy coming through for you. I am feeling like it's already there, like you've already kind of established what you're looking for energetically, emotionally, spiritually, even physically. It feels like potentially there will be options coming your way, but you know, there will be a more significant connection with a specific person, I'm feeling. I'm seeing money and abundance. So this person is good with money, I feel, for many of you. Or this person is learning more about money, growing their money, investing their money, something like that. I am seeing travel. I'm seeing tropical energy. I'm seeing like a boat, like almost like a pirate ship even. So I don't know, like I'm getting Caribbean vibes. They could be travelers. You could be a traveler. You could be going somewhere. Let's see here. Crystal blue waters I'm feeling right now, and the sun, just vibrant. The word vibrant is coming through. It feels like they have a vibrant personality, a strong magnetic personality, and it feels like your feminine energy, if you identify with the feminine energy, is calling that in and pulling that in magnetically. And there's just this strong attraction I'm feeling because they have a strong, this is just how I'm feeling it, y'all. I'm feeling a strong masculine energy. And this is associated with travel somehow, or with exotic locations, or another location perhaps, or just that adventurous spirit that I'm feeling that they have. They have an adventurous spirit, and they have a masculinity to them, and your softer feminine essence, your intuitive essence and emotional intelligence is very attractive to them, and it just brings you naturally together. So I'm going to pull some tarot right now. Let's see here. Hang on for a moment. I'm going to use the Mystic Mondays Tarot. So, God Source, for my pile number 2, what love, romance messages do you have for them right now? What love, romance messages do you have for my pile number 2 right now? What do they need to hear right now for their highest good? Okay, so we have the 6 of Cups, which is always nice to see in a romance reading. We have the 7 of Cups, so there's a progression happening in the energy. Okay, let's get more. On my pile number 2, what do they need to know about love and romance right now? We have the 2 of Wands. This can be a travel card. Talk about other locations. Let's see here. I am going to keep shuffling. God Source, romance messages for my pile number 2. For their highest good right now. Okay, well, a lot wanted to come out, so we'll just take them. We have this, the Fool. And then we have the Hermit. Interesting. let's see here. I'll just do that. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. And you know what? I'm just going to do it this way. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Apologies for the lighting. Pile number 2, Love and Romance. 5 of Cups. Interesting. Maybe this is connected to the things that we're releasing here. For my pile number 2, Love and Romance. And we have Temperance, which is about healing, patience, rebalancing. Okay. Okay, I turned on the overhead lights so I can actually see things. All right. So, this is similar to pile 1. This must be a collective thing coming up for a lot of people, because we're talking about the self here when it comes to like the Hermit next to the 9 of Pentacles. We're talking about bringing it to the self, that sense of independence and abundance within the self, and following your own inner light. Being guided by your own wisdom and intuition. But I will say, because you are coming into balance with something here, and this is probably connected to some sadness. Maybe this is a person or a connection from your past that has caused some disappointment or sadness for you. It feels like maybe you had a connection that was really warm and loving and lovely, but maybe at a certain point, you just realized there wasn't, you didn't have enough in common to keep evolving together. And so there's like the disappointment of that not working out. This is for some of you. Interesting how this card here was talking about the sunrise and the sunset, and we have that kind of here, right? And with the 5 of Cups, it's kind of giving me that sunset energy, the closure, the ending of something. And you have a sun kind of right here too. So maybe the sun is setting on a past relationship that you've been sort of grieving and letting go of. And it's kind of like you've been envisioning sort of a new future for yourself, all the different things you could do, all the adventures you could go on. Maybe you've been thinking about traveling, but you haven't taken the leap, because with the 2 of Wands next to the 7 of Cups, I'm getting travel energy, sort of like ideas, fantasies about like where you could go, fantasizing traveling somewhere new. And the Fool is kind of like that encouragement to go for it, right? And that freedom and that leap into the next thing, that leap into the unknown. And you had the sun setting here, and the Fool is the first card in the tarot journey. So it's kind of like the ending and then the leap into the new beginning, and you're starting a new journey. And maybe it's not quite time for that leap just yet, because maybe you're still healing something, you're coming into balance with something, and the Temperance card always asks for patience as you're kind of alchemizing certain things, transmuting certain things, adjusting certain things within yourself and your life. And the 2 of Wands can talk about that in-between energy where you're not in the old reality, but you're not quite in the new reality yet. And you can see the road ahead, or you can see a potential roads ahead, right? But you're not going just yet. it does feel like you have a lot of good things ahead for you, like a lot of potential and possibility is coming through in your own life. And yeah, you are being asked to focus on yourself, to focus on how beautiful you are as a person and connecting with beauty in general, like the beauty of life, things that you find beautiful. You know, it can talk about beautifying your home and, you know, it can talk about leveling up your fashion, your wardrobe, out with the old, in with the new, perhaps. Doing your hair or makeup in a different way than you normally would. Just trying something else out, or trying out something else for yourself. A new style, a new, you know, flavor. Trying different flavors, the different flavors of life. And just letting yourself be your guide. I am literally feeling your independent spirit coming through right now. I'm feeling a bohemian spirit for some of you. Maybe you are a bohemian type of person who likes wearing dresses, and you like flowers and art and that kind of thing, travel, healthy foods, kind of like hippy dippy vibes, which I love. Yeah. With this sadness showing up, I'm not even getting something super duper heavy. It feels more melancholy to me. It feels more like a sigh. Whew, like, man, I really experienced that. It reminds me of like those shows on the WB or the CW, you know, where it's like an angsty teen drama or something, and like angsty emo, like sad music is playing, but it just hits you in the heart in just the right way, and the character is having like a moment, you know. But it's like kind of beautiful at the same time, right? It's kind of poignant, and there's something poetic about it. That's kind of the energy that I'm picking up here in you processing these old energies that are sort of phasing out of your life. It's like there's sort of this beautiful melancholy sadness to it, and that's you allowing yourself to feel that is like bringing you into resonance with yourself and balance within yourself, because it feels like you're really in preparation to take a step out into the next thing, taking a trip in the future here. And I know we're asking about love and romance, so I do want to pull more cards to ask about potential partner energy that is coming in. Obviously, here, the energy is asking you to kind of focus on yourself and just process like things and be with yourself and enjoy yourself and think about the future, fantasize about what you're wanting in the future, healing, being patient, just sort of like an easeful, emotionally in tune energy with yourself. But with the Six of Cups coming up, it's like you are attracting soulmate connections, past life connections here. So I'd be curious to just expand upon this a little bit more. And let's see here. I'm going to use the DC Tarot here. Okay, God, for my pile number 2, who's coming in for them for as far as love and romance is concerned? And partner, soulmate energy, what's coming in for my pile number 2, God? What's coming in for my pile number 2? What loving romantic energy is my pile number 2 connecting with and calling in right now, God? Okay, well, I'm going to take these. So we have the Five of Cups again. We have the Moon card. So a lot of emotion, a lot of sort of like that, again, that melancholy, those darker emotions. We have the Six of Wands. And we have the Queen of Swords. I'm actually going to pull even more cards because I'm curious about this energy. What's coming in love-wise for my pile number 2, God? What is coming in love-wise for my pile number 2? These cards don't love to fly out, or if they do, they fly out in clumps, but just like right there. Let's see. I'll take them. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Death card. We have the Ten of Cups. And we'll just get one more. Pile number 2. And we have the Seven of Pentacles, more patience energy coming through. Man, it's like when I do love readings, of course I want the juicy, flirty, fun soulmate connections and stuff, but Spirit has really been wanting people to love themselves and work through their own healing and be patient and surrender. And, you know, that's beautiful, right? In its own way, because you can't get to the loving, balanced partnerships without the foundation of that self-love and that, you know, pouring into ourselves, working on ourselves, focusing on ourselves. So I am just picking up that you are an emotional person, or if you're not usually an emotional person, because we do have the Queen of Swords here, which can be kind of cold and distant and logical. It feels like maybe you're being brought to a point where you are facing sort of the disappointments and things that have been in the subconscious, buried underneath the surface, and, you know, needing to reckon with those things. And maybe there is sort of that wistful, melancholy, lonely, sad energy. But again, even with these cards, I'm not feeling super duper heavy, even though we do have some like slightly heavy cards. This feels just more like you needing to tune in with your, you know, those heavier, deeper emotions, and maybe just processing still like things that didn't work out before. Let's see here. Well, I'm just going to hit on this right now. Obviously, with the Death card, you are going through a transformation. You've been going through a process of, or you are currently going through a process of, you know, letting things go, exploring your own shadow, exploring your own darkness, and, you know, needing to be in that space in order to transmute and move into the next thing. And it's so funny how this all connects with the sun sets and the sun rises. In order for the sun to rise again, you have to, you know, you have to sit through the night in order to get to morning, right? So for some of you, the phrase dark night of the soul might resonate with where you are right now, but maybe you are feeling like you're in a heavy spot, even though energetically I am feeling like many of you watching are able to kind of move through this space with a sense of like grace. And maybe it's actually because you are this Queen of Swords, or you're more logical, or you have this side of you that is able to kind of step back and like see things for what they are. And so you can look at darkness and pain and not judge it, perhaps. Maybe that's why this isn't super heavy. And maybe if you're not normally like a super, super emotional person, even though I was picking up, you know, you being emotional, maybe that's why, you know, you're able to just sort of like be in it, but not get too sucked into the heaviness and the depths of it, where you're like lost in heavy emotions. Maybe you're able to keep just enough of a safe, I want to say distance or perspective with it all, so that so that you can keep moving and not get lost, like I was saying. Something about your energy is attractive. We have the Six of Wands, which talks about recognition, success, overcoming difficulty. So there's something in your energy that's strong, luminous, light, attractive. People recognize you for what you're doing, for who you are. Maybe you work with other people. Maybe you have a company or a team or friends, or are part of a community, or, you know, have like-minded souls around you who appreciate you and support you, you know. And maybe when it comes to love, you are a little bit more detached because you have these other things going on in your life. You are feeling loved and appreciated in other ways. You are feeling connected to other things in your life. So maybe with the love, it's not like just this horrible experience for you, having had some disappointments or loss, but it is still important for you to process that. And so maybe that's the space you're in when you're not kind of like in the spotlight, or when you're not doing other things. It's like you can kind of just be with yourself in this quiet space and honor the emotions that are processing. We do have the Ten of Cups here, which talks about overwhelming happiness and contentment, long-term stability, emotional happiness. Like I said, it can talk about having a family. So it's like, this is something that I think you want. You want this success within your love life. You want to have a marriage, a partner. You know, this is something you're dreaming of. And because you're desiring it, it's yours. It's out there. It's within you, actually. But you're just moving through the process that you're in where you are, and you can't judge that or change that. I mean, you can transform it and evolve it, right, into the next thing. But you don't have to like change where you are in your process. That's what I mean. But yeah, this love is coming. It's just interesting how Spirit isn't really focusing on the person that's coming in for you, because patience is coming up, you know. They're wanting you to be patient, and with the Pentacles, which is all about the physical dimension, they're wanting you to be present with what's happening for you now, in the here and now, in the physical dimension, and not, you know, you wondering about who's coming in isn't exactly like needed right now, per se. Hopefully this is all resonating. Okay, now I'm going to pull from the Prism Oracle here. For my pile number 2, God, what romantic love messages want to be known for my pile number 2? Okay, so we have movement. This reminds me of the Eight of Wands card, which is a travel card. So more about travel coming through. And, you know, I would assume that if you are already involved with like work, a team, money, you know, building your money, have some sort of recognition, that you would be in a position at some point in the future to travel. But it feels like that's something that's showing up very strongly in your energy. What else, Spirit? you know, I was picking up earlier this masculine presence, and it has to do with travel. So maybe, you know, right now the focus is on kind of your healing and you just being present with yourself and doing what you've been doing. And, you know, if you travel, you might meet somebody. What else wants to come through? Anger. Wow, okay, so this is more emotion coming up that wants to be processed and felt. Yeah, interesting. What I was feeling earlier was more of that melancholy energy, but maybe there is anger that wants to come up. Anger and frustration for how things went down or didn't work out. Anger and frustration for sort of like maybe feeling like you have success in certain ways and you're fulfilled in certain ways, but then you're just missing that piece that you're really wanting, because it seems like you really do desire that union and partnership and family and just that emotional fulfillment. And maybe there's a sense of anger with yourself that you haven't really been able to like fully align with that in a way that sticks. So for my pile number 2, fear. So this is that void, that dark space that, you know, you're in. And maybe you fear the void. Maybe you fear that space a little bit where nothing's happening. But that's kind of like that nighttime energy that this card was talking about, of like, you know, in between sunrise or sunset and the next sunrise, there's night. So, yeah. I'm going to pull the next one and we'll see. It's coming through. Oops. For my pile number 2, God. Love and romance messages for my pile number 2. Pain, my goodness. Wow. Maybe there's more heaviness here than I'm even reading into. More to process. Anger, fear, and pain. Wow. I mean, gosh. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck here. Reflection. More of that reflective, introspective energy. So we'll put that up here. Yeah, pile 2. Sitting with yourself and letting go is not always easy, especially if you are a type of person who is always active and doing things and, you know, busy. If sometimes someone who, you know, for people who are like this, who have a type A personality or who are go, 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 it's scary to stop, to be forced to stop and to be in the void and to feel and process all of these difficult emotions that are wanting to be acknowledged, honored, and loved so that they can be released. That can be scary for somebody who's on the move. But in order for like the next good thing to come into your life, this is really saying that this is necessary for you to work through and process in order to get to that, you know, daybreak moment. Before you're called to travel, you might need to process, you know, meditate, seek out support if you need to, or just process it all on your own, you know. You do have friends around you, people around you. Maybe you're afraid that they couldn't hold space for this part of you. You know, you only need to show this stuff to people who are safe and who can be there for you. But if you feel like those people aren't there, for you right now, then, you know, you're just really being invited to like be with yourself and just allow yourself to like go to those places, and really reflect and look at yourself and, you know, feel into like where you gave away, you know, your energy too much to the wrong person, or why you were so hurt and disappointed from a situation like falling apart or kind of dissolving, even if it felt good to you. This is all stuff for you to work through, and I am feeling like music coming through, like listening to like music that can activate and trigger this like sadness and pain within you. And maybe, you know, like it can make being in the void feel a little bit more bearable, like listening to music or watching sad movies or something where you can like see yourself and be validated in these emotions. I think this is really important for this part of the process that you're in right now, is to be validated and validate yourself. Because this is not forever. I'm telling you, this is not forever. You're meant for excitement and the next, you know, part of your journey, and it's really exciting. But just right now, you know, you're kind of in that in-between space where you need to work on yourself. And that's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's just, you know, not necessarily the most fun part of the process. So lastly, I'm going to pull. So now we are going to pull for you an Angel Answers Oracle card and see what else wants to be affirmed, expanded upon for your love romance situation at the moment. Pile number 2. We have it's up to you. So this is really telling me that it's up to you how fast or slow this process or this journey towards your next chapter is, and how long it takes, based on how willing you are to be with yourself and move through some difficult emotions and really be present with that, and to allow yourself to just let go and be in that in-between phase, because that's a critical part of the journey. That's a critical part in getting to this adventure that you're meant for. Because like I said, I feel that sense of adventure coming through so strongly. But, you know, this is really just saying, like, you can take it upon yourself to commit to presence and to really lean into what's showing up right now. You don't have to run away from what's uncomfortable. Embracing what's uncomfortable, like these wings are embracing. It's like these difficult emotions, all they want is to be loved. Because the reason why they exist in the first place is because they were not loved. Those parts of you were not honored, or they were triggered from an earlier time in your life, from childhood. Childhood wounds are coming up here from where your needs weren't getting met. So even if the person who disappointed you didn't hurt you maybe in the same way that, you know, maybe they just left. Maybe they just left and it triggered up your abandonment wounds. But there's an original wound there. There's an original abandonment wound that's from very early in childhood. And so your inner child is asking you to like be there for it and kind of like acknowledge those very young emotions that are still existing within you. And it really is up to you. This is kind of an opportunity for you to like be your own parent in a way and offer yourself that grace and that space to just be and just feel everything. You know, imagine being, you know, your child self and you're wanting to cry and it just wants to come out. And, you know, sometimes parents or authority figures are like, don't stop crying, like be quiet, like get over it kind of thing. And that just makes you cry harder, right? Because you're not being seen and loved, and it's even more painful. But when a parent or authority figure or guardian says, it's okay, you can feel it, let it out, let it out, let it out, then it's a safer space to just feel it and then move along. That's the whole point of what's coming up for you right now, is to be your own loving guardian. And for that young part of you that's feeling all of these things and maybe doesn't know how to process it, and just say, I'm here for you. Feel it. It's okay. I got you. This is a safe space. I'm choosing to create a safe space for you right now. And that's the most self-loving thing you can do for yourself in this process. And that's the key. That is the key to moving through it and just letting it go, and then moving into the next chapter of your life with a sense of excitement. So hopefully these messages resonated for you. I'm really grateful for you watching this video and for joining me. If you feel called to support me, I have a link in my description for donations. No expectation, but of course appreciated. And I hope to see you in the next one. Okay, thank you. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. So you chose the citrine here with the Sacred Rebel Oracle. Today we are looking at romantic, loving, or love messages for you from the divine, your guides, your angels. And we will see what is coming up for you, my beautiful pile number 3. Thank you, God, for love and romance messages from my pile number 3. From the highest white light for the highest good of my pile 3 and the collective. Okay, we have the Sacred Fool here. So this card is really talking about a new beginning opening up in your life. And, stepping forward with a sense of fun, a childlike sense of wonder, and with the understanding that anything is possible moving forward, that you're open to the possibilities and potentials, and you feel as though, there's a lot of positivity and light coming in for you moving forward. You also are mature enough to understand that you're going to be learning a lot in the next chapter in a different way. You will be challenged in a different way, and you're going on a new journey. So that comes with all of the good and the bad, right? But I feel like you're excited for what's next, which is really cool energy. And this is about love and romance, so it feels like you feel this sense of anticipation that something good is coming at any moment, kind of energy. You feel like someone who's good for you is coming in, a good match, someone who can really meet you where you are, understand you, vibe with you. Music is coming through. I'm picking up musical energy. So maybe you're attracted to people who are into music. Maybe you're into music. Maybe you listen to music that makes you feel romantic and excited, and that kind of touches your heart, touches on that romantic part of yourself. With the red here, I do feel like you are grounded in yourself, and you are being present with things that are showing up. Even though you're anticipating the next kind of wave of good energy, it still feels like you're present with where you are, and you're kind of having fun with where you are in a way. With the green here in her hat, like there is this like sense that you are a heart-centered person, that you do have emotional intelligence, and that you do feel things. You let feelings flow is what's coming through. And again, there's just this sense of play. So this is a really nice energy to start with. Let's see what wants to come through the Mystic Mondays Tarot here. So God, for my pile number 3, what love and romance messages want to come through for my pile number 3 right now, for their highest good and the highest good of the collective. So to start, we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. It's kind of like that eager energy to race forward. We have the Eight of Swords. Interesting, because that's not what I was feeling with the Fool or the Sacred Fool card coming up. Let's see more. For my pile number 3, God, loving romantic messages for them, for their highest good. Too many cards. Pile number 3. Queen of Swords. I'm fascinated by this mental energy showing up, because this is interesting. We just pick up different aspects to things. We have the 7 and 8 of Pentacles here showing up. Okay. Let's see if I can tap in to the love and romance messages in these cards. Interesting. You know, maybe you've been working on yourself. You've been investing in yourself. You've been just self-focused for the last sort of chunk of time. And maybe this is sort of kept you at a distance from love that's been trying to come in, perhaps. Maybe you've been oblivious to love that's wanted to come in and rush towards you, or maybe you've purposefully kept it at a distance so that you can focus on sort of like the seeds that you're planting and what you're building and growing for yourself. It's funny because all of these piles are having like very like self-focused energies, and part of me is disappointed because it's like I'm wanting to know about the juicy connections and the other people, but it's like here with all of us watching, you know, Spirit's talking about the self and really asking us to look at ourselves and our patterns and our feelings and our, you know, the ways that we think and the ways that we're too attached to other people or love, or too detached from people and love. And the energy here is kind of giving me more of this like detached sense from like people coming towards you. Maybe this is because of belief that like a man can't give, if you're, you know, a feminine or a woman, or if you're into men, that a man can't give you what you need and you can do things for yourself. And so you've been focusing on that. And so you've had these sort of like potential people kind of like waiting at the gates, but there's been no entry for them allowed kind of energy. Let's see. Maybe you do have an idea of what you want in a partner, but it's just the people who've been coming towards you have not been what you're wanting and needing. Maybe you're wanting more of like a warmer, earthier, more grounded energy, and the people coming towards you have been more like logical and like not as like in the body or in the heart space. And, you know, maybe that's made you believe that like the right people can't come in, kind of thing. I'm gonna pull more cards here, so we'll expand on this. Put these up here, and we'll use the DC Tarot here to get more. God, for my pile number 3, let's straighten that out. For my pile number 3, God, what love and romance messages do they need to hear right now for their highest good? Some of you, I'm getting a message that like you would rather have a pet or an animal, like a dog or something, than a partner or a cat. Like you just prefer the company of animals for some of you. Take it as it resonates. Interesting. We have the 10 of Cups. Okay. So clearly like you're wanting fulfillment in some way. You are wanting that happily ever after, but it's just like not been, you haven't been focused on it as much because it's been the wrong energies, right? But you are, if the right person were to come along, it would catch your interest, but it's kind of like, I'm feeling like maybe you have high standards or there's a heavy criteria for the right person potentially. And so you would be almost surprised if like the right person came in for you. Spirit, what else does my pile 3 need to know right now regarding their love and romance journey? Oh, there's that Queen of Swords once again. That is such confirmation that you are sort of like detached and kind of like keeping love at a distance and a little bit of a colder energy. And that's not a bad thing. This is just like, you know, you having boundaries and discernment and not settling for anything that isn't a match to you. And, you know, there's always a reason why we're not attracting what, like the right energies into our lives. Maybe right now your focus is just on sort of your material reality. But let's see what else. My pile number 3, love and romance messages. What are these? Okay, so we have the Page of Wands, and we have the 10 of Pentacles. So you're definitely building towards some like long-term stability and contentment in your life. And you're wanting to leave some sort of legacy or just set yourself up for the future. And with the Page of Wands, you know, in this situation, I'm kind of feeling like it's kind of like you waiting for this like spark with a person. You waiting for the universe to deliver you like that kind of like warm glow that you feel from a connection. You're letting the universe like kind of, you're just letting it be so that it can come in when it wants to come in kind of energy. That's kind of what I'm picking up. Because your focus just, again, just doesn't seem to be on like anyone in particular, but love and romance messages for my pile number 3, God. That's too many. Let's get one more card, Spirit, for my pile number 3 when it comes to love. Okay. And we have the Queen of Cups. Interesting. Very curious indeed. I think there is a part of you that is maybe being a little bit avoidant of your heart space. and the needs of the heart, because you're pouring so much into your physical reality, into your work, into your career, your creativity, your just, other things. And maybe, just maybe for some of you, it is a distraction tactic so that you don't have to be hurt, so that your heart, which is truthfully at its core very soft and loving and wanting of that love and that nourishment, and wanting to be that nourishment for another person, I think as well. I think you're craving to like be that support system for another person, and to like share your sensitivity with them, to have that happy ending, to have that happy home life with a partner, with someone special, to have that family and that long-term, like you want something that is long-term, that is stable, that you can invest in, somebody that you can grow old with, is kind of what's coming through. And so you do have a high standard, because you're not just going to let anybody walk into your life and trample all over, everything that you've built and grown for yourself, everything that you're continuing to build and grow for yourself. So it's like, it really has to be the right person. But it's like, I want to know what soulmate energy would want to come through for you. What's your ideal situation? Okay. So now I'm gonna pull from the Prism Oracle here, and I really want to ask about like what would an ideal partner be for you? Okay, well, interestingly enough, confidence is the first card out here. So you're going to need someone who's strong, who has a strong personality, who's strong within themselves, who has a strong sense of identity within themselves, and also someone who has charisma and comes off as cool, calm, and collected is coming through. You want someone who can match you where you are, who's also been putting in the work into themselves, into their business, into their life, whatever it is. You're wanting them to be solid and stable and have something to provide and something to offer a relationship and your life. They need to be worthy of your time and energy. But the person that's coming in for you is this way. So they are 100% going to match your energy. Who's coming in to my pile number 3's life romantically, God? Energy. Wow. So this person is a master manifester and knows how to manipulate energy and maybe whereas you are more of the like practical, like working, putting effort into what you're doing every day, really putting the hours in. Maybe this person just sort of like effortlessly manifests things. Like maybe they're a really charismatic speaker and they can kind of just like get what they want and what they need just kind of by showing up, and like people like them and love them, and everybody notices that this person has a very strong energy, magnetic energy. Yeah, and they just sort of like draw in whatever they need. So that's a very good thing for a partner to bring into a relationship. And I think you're going to be very pleased with that, with this person. Who's coming through for my pile number 3, God? Who's coming through for my pile number 3? Oh my God, success. Wow. Yeah, you really are not playing around with people in your life. This person is going to be successful, and this reminds me of the 10 of Cups here. So it's like they're going to want that long-term stability as well, and they're not going to be playing around either when it comes to relationships. They're going to be fully wanting to show up, and they're going to want to make sure that their partner has something to offer, and that there's a truly mutual exchange happening, and that you can both both give to the relationship in order to grow it for the long term. You're both wanting that happiness. You're both wanting that emotional fulfillment and contentment with each other. You're both wanting that sense of ease within a connection. And I do feel a sense of like family coming through, whether that's children, dogs, just having other family in your life with you. For some of you, this person is like a family man and will love their family and appreciate their family. Who's coming in for my pile number 3, God? Hopefully the energies showing up are making you feel like this is possible for you. Caution is coming up. So, I mean, we already know that you're kind of having a sense of caution with people. Maybe this person, maybe the partner coming in will also have this sense of caution, so that they are making sure that you're the right person for them and that there are no games. And, you know, maybe there will be a long period of dating to kind of just ensure that everything is good. But I think that you're really going to like what you see in one another. Maybe this is also just a reminder for you about your guard, and that maybe when the right person shows up, you still might have your guard up, and it might not be necessary to keep it up for that long when you meet this person. So it's just a reminder to be aware of the walls that you do have in place, and where maybe you're not allowing people to see sort of that Queen of Cups energy that you're truthfully wanting somebody to see and nurture. For some reason, golf is coming through. Your partner could be into golf or outdoor sports, outdoor activities. They just could be like, they could also be a thinker type of person. They could be into like literature, like classic literature is coming through. They could be into like whiskey or, you know, spirits, cigars. That's just for some of you if you're into that type of thing, or would allow your man or partner to be into that type of thing. Let's see. I'm seeing jewelry coming through, so it's like maybe that their love language is like gift giving in some capacity, or maybe your love language is gift giving, and so there's the like one of you gets the other person like a watch or a necklace or something like that. Maybe that's you know, signs that you care about each other and are investing in one another. That's coming through. Yeah, and so it seems like, you know, you're not overly concerned with like all the specifics, because it seems like you just kind of need a sense that like, okay, this person is out there, the right person is out there, and they're showing up in the frequency of this reading as evidence of that for you. So, okay. Lastly, we're going to pull from the Angel Answers Oracle deck. And these are just very straightforward, simple messages. But of course, I'll see what energy corresponds with them, with the card that wants to come up. God Source, for my pile number 3, what love and romance messages want to come through? What else wants to be known to close out the reading? What wants to be known when it comes to love? For my pile number 3. Okay. We have no exclamation point. So it's interesting because the scene looks very like idyllic and beautiful, and like the 10 of Cups energy, like happily ever after kind of fairy tale ending. And maybe there's a part of you that's saying no to that dream right now. And that's okay. You know, we're all at where we're at, and we're in a process. And, but maybe this is showing up just to reflect back to you, this part of you that is shutting out something that you actually want inside. Because obviously you're here watching a love and romance reading. So there is a part of you that's called towards that. But maybe you just need to be made aware of sort of like where you're putting the hand up and saying like, no, I'm not looking at that, or I'm not inviting that in, or like it's not possible, or they're not out there, or whatever it is. So, this is just all about looking at yourself and asking yourself these important questions like, what do I need right now? And what am I truly wanting for the long term? And how can I bridge the gap there emotionally, mentally, spiritually, if I feel like I'm not getting what I need in certain areas of my life that are still important to me on some level. So yeah, those are the messages coming through for you right now, pile number 3. Thank you so much for joining me again. I don't know what I'm doing with the personal readings yet, but just stay tuned if you're interested. If you do want to support me, however, there is a PayPal link in the description, and it's never expected, but always appreciated. So thank you so much for joining me, and hope you have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Thanks. Bye.